Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new or just came across today's video, I am Delaney, and in today's video I'm actually going to be sharing my New Year's goals and resolutions for 2020. So today is actually New Year's Day while I'm filming this, and I thought this would be a great video to kick off the new year and share with you guys sort of what I have in mind for myself and the year and all those good things. And hopefully this video can be inspiring or motivational or maybe just an interesting peek into my life. So if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can catch all of my future videos. And I'm excited to share these 20 goals for 2020 with you guys. So last night, Clayton and I wrote down our goals and resolutions and dreams and ambitions for 2020, and I wrote them in this journal that says "Make It All Happen." I got this at Bando, and I love to write manifesting things and gratitude things and all sort of like reflective, positive energy things in journals and notebooks that have positive words and affirmations on them, because I feel like it makes it more powerful. So I will link this one in the description box if you guys are into it. And I also feel like it's important to say here that the goals and the resolutions that I set for myself are gentle and broad. They're not too specific, or basically what I'm trying to say is they don't have to happen in an exact way or at an exact time necessarily, or they don't have to happen at all for me to feel like I've evolved and progressed throughout the year. So it's kind of just like a guideline for me of things that I'm looking forward to and things that I want to achieve, but it's definitely something that I've learned over the years to just be sort of gentle with myself through this process and not be as hard on myself and make sure that I get everything done, and if I didn't, I feel like I failed and stuff like that. So just a little disclaimer on how I look at goals and resolutions for the new year. So the first one that I'm going to share with you guys is to ease up on being a perfectionist. So a lot of you probably experience the same thing, and it's just a part of our society, and it's definitely a personality thing as well, to feel like everything needs to be perfect and you need to do everything perfectly, and if you don't, you feel like it's not good enough or it's not worth it, or you beat yourself up. And I notice myself doing this all the time, and I also notice that it can have a really negative effect on me and other parts of my life. It can get in the way of my happiness, in the way of my productivity, it gets in the way of my creativity. So it's just something that I want to work on and be gentler and kinder with myself and my expectations for things. And I also want to be more easygoing and just go with the flow, because I think that I'll be a lot happier, and I think life will unfold in a more suitable, surprising way if I'm able to just go with the flow a little bit more. So that is something that I'm going to work on, and I still want to work hard on things, as I always have and always will do, but I just don't want to be as hard on myself for it being perfect or not. So I'm still gonna keep a high standard, but I'm gonna try to navigate the fine line of not having it be perfect and still being able to live with it and move forward and keep going when it's not perfect. Number 2 is to prioritize mental health. And this basically stems from the idea, I saw someone somewhere say something along the lines that they've always done a good job of taking care of their body physically, but they haven't, and their physical health, but they haven't done as good of a job taking care of their mind and their mental health. And I felt that that rang true for me, because I've always made it a point to work out, to take good care of my body, to exercise. And it's not to say that I feel like I'm in a bad state of mind or that my mental health is in a bad place, but I've just not prioritized or thought about taking care of my mind the same way that I think about taking care of my body every single day. So pretty much every day I do something that's good for my body, and I just want to make it more of a point to do the same thing for my mind. So I already journal every day and I read, but I want to treat those things more as like a mental health thing and just really lean into it a little bit more and make it as special and meaningful in my day as I do with like workouts. So I also want to have more like rest and relaxation, so self-care like facials, massages, nature walks, maybe just like rests, breaks, naps, things like that. As hard as it is for me to imagine, taking time out of my day to do things like that, I do think that it's really important for me. And since it is so hard for me, I feel like that's an indicator of how important it is and that it might be lacking in my life. So I'm going to try to work on that in 2020. Okay. Number 3 is to start to learn Spanish. So I feel like I'm always having conversations with people, and a lot of people speak multiple languages, and I'm always like, oh, I'd love to speak another language. Like, I would love to learn Spanish. I would love to learn French. I would love to learn pretty much any language. And it kind of dawned on me that I'm always saying that. I'm not doing anything ever to make that happen. And obviously that's never going to happen if I don't try. So I am going to challenge myself to put the steps forward to start learning another language. So whether that's taking classes or getting a tutor or using some sort of software or program, I definitely want to start taking the steps to do that and just expand my knowledge and my brain and challenge myself to do something like that. Number 4 is to read at least 12 books this year. And I already do read pretty frequently, and it's honestly one of my favorite things in the world, and I feel like I don't prioritize it as much as I should, kind of along the same lines of the mental health thing. So I try to read every single day in the morning, but it's only maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm hoping to get a little bit further with that and maybe spend the same amount of time in the morning and the same amount of time in the evening reading, and just adding in more extra time of reading. So maybe when I take a break or something during the middle of the day to sort of rest and relax and work on that mental health, maybe I can spend it reading. That's just something I get a ton of enjoyment out of, and I want to continue to focus on it in 2020 and make it an achievable, manageable goal of 12 books. So 1 book a month seems doable. Number 5 is to use less plastic and be more mindful of what I'm consuming. So if you don't know, Clayton and I already eat primarily vegan. We have a video on our channel already explaining exactly how we eat, but 100% of the time in our household we cook only vegan. So that is a huge effort that we take every day in order to help lessen our footprint on the planet and consume less environmentally hazardous things. But I do realize that we can do an even better job with consuming less plastic and just being more mindful. So there's actually so many little ways that we can do this, and I've been reading up a lot on them, and I want to just implement that more. So for example, the other day we were buying something online, and there was options of having like the smaller packages of it that came in like single use, or a larger package of it that is just one container basically. And Clayton pointed out that the larger container is a more environmentally friendly option because it uses less plastic. So just like simple little things like that, if you add them all up over the year, can definitely make a difference. So I'm gonna try to bring my metal straw everywhere with me. I'm gonna try not to forget my grocery bags, my reusable grocery bags at home. I'm gonna try to bring my reusable cup everywhere. So I have all these things and I already try to use them as much as I can remember, but I want to make it more of a point to remember even more and use less plastic in the things I consume. So whether that's eating more vegetables instead of packaged things, or like those other tips I suggested, I want to just keep learning about all of those things and implementing them wherever I can. Number 6 is I want to go on more trips and adventures with friends. So if you guys follow along on Instagram or on our channel, you probably know that we already travel quite a bit, and I'm super happy about that, and I love that part of our life, and I definitely want to keep expanding on that. But I do feel like we don't do a ton with like friends or other people because it's usually just easiest for Clayton and I to go somewhere, and we love that. But I do think that it would be really fun and exciting to like go on some couples trips or some friend trips or whatever, or just like little adventures. They don't even have to be really trips. So that's just kind of like a fun social goal that I have for myself, and hopefully we can coordinate with some friends and make it happen. Goal number 7 is something that I've been hoping for a long time and talking about. So in 2020, Clayton and I want to move to New York City. So super excited about that. And like I've said, it's been on my mind for years and we've been talking about it for a while. So this is finally the year that we're gonna make it happen. And I'm a little scared about it because it's a big move and it's a big deal, but I'm obviously super excited and ready for it too. So getting that done in 2020 is just gonna be really empowering and exciting for us. The next goal is pretty broad and it's pretty obvious that I would have something like this, but I want to just continue to expand my social media platforms and explore new platforms and continue to push myself creatively and just keep creating. So even the things that are hard or scary for me to create, I want to push through them. So like I said, new platforms and new mediums of content I want to explore, and that's scary and hard for me, but that's exactly why I want to do it. So that's kind of one of my work goals for 2020. So I want to have more video content. I want to write on my blog more. I want to share more recipes. You guys ask about that a lot, and just keep expanding and growing in that way. Number 9 is to own less. So I want to purge and declutter and get rid of things and say no to more things and just have more organization and space and clarity in my mind and my life and my home and my space. So that's something that's always a little bit hard because it takes a lot of mental power and sometimes strength to say no to things or to let go of things because I feel attached to them for whatever reason, or I feel like I need them. And I'm not like a hoarder or anything, but I do find myself like keeping things that I don't actually use because I feel some sort of sentimental tie to them. So I'm trying to just separate those feelings a little bit and have less things basically. For number 10, I want to try a new form of exercise. So that can be super broad. I've tried a lot of things, so I'm not even sure what that's gonna be or what that's gonna look like for me. But I feel like it's good to just challenge myself in that way to have that physical goal and implement something like new and exciting for my brain and my body and exercise. And I think that it will be really fun, and maybe I will fall in love with some new form of exercise. So if you guys have any like classes or ways of working out or something that you love and you think I may not have tried, I would love to hear them in the comments. And then the next goal is also a exercise like physical goal. So I want to work on stretching more, which I feel like this is probably a goal of mine many years, and it's just something that for whatever reason I don't prioritize in my workout schedule, and I really want to because I actually love stretching and it's so beneficial. I feel like it feels so good. It's so good for your body. So I definitely want to just push myself to make that more of a priority. So whether it's like 10 minutes a day or just every workout getting a couple minutes of stretching in or something, I just want to do more of that, and I feel like my body will benefit from it so much. Number 12 is also a physical-ish like health goal. So I want to drink more water because I do not drink that much water, and it's just something that's always been hard for me. I don't know why. I know it's obviously so important to your health and your mind, your skin, your hair, your digestion, literally everything, to drink water. So I'm gonna try to make that a very top priority of mine. And I actually read like a fun fact the other day that was super motivating for that. And it was something along the lines, if you drink enough water in the morning, I don't know how much enough is, but like a substantial amount of water in the morning, you will be happier and more productive throughout the whole day. And that was super motivating to me because I'm obsessed with productivity and it gives you more energy and everything. So I've been trying to implement that in the mornings and I feel like I do see a difference from it. So I'm gonna keep that water goal at the top of my list. Okay, so the next goal is something more on the personal side. So I want to let go of expectations on how I think others should live their lives and be loving, supportive, open, allowing, and accepting of everyone's unique path. So this is something that's hard for me, not in the sense that I feel like everyone should live a certain way, but in the sense when I see someone who I care about struggling, it's really hard for me to accept it and I just want to fix it and I just want to help them. And that's definitely not always the answer for what people are going through. So everybody has their path, everybody has their decisions, and oftentimes those decisions and those paths look so much different than mine, and I have a hard time accepting that for other people and not being able to help them. And I feel like that's just a problem that I run into that affects me and those around me because it makes me feel upset and sad for people, and that's obviously not a good way to feel or live your life. And then it puts some sort of pressure on the people I care about to fix their problem and not be going through it, and it just doesn't really work for either party. So it's kind of a more complicated thing that I have to work on because the lines are not as clear on that, but I do want to just try to be more open and accepting and allowing of what everyone's going through and not try so hard to make everything better and fix it and just let it be, which even saying out loud is hard for me. And then for number 14, it is more of a business goal. So I want to start a company in 2020 and I'm so excited about that because I feel so passionately about that, and it's a really important goal to me to be a CEO and have a company and venture into the business world in a different way than I have ever been in it before. So I'm super excited about that. I'm not going to share too much about exactly what I want to do, but I know that I want to do that in 2020. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I know it's going to be challenging and it's totally something new. So I have a lot of steps to go through and I have a lot to learn, and who knows what that journey looks like, but it's important to me, so I'm going to make it happen. Okay, so the next one is another personal one, and it is to frequently tell the people I love that I love them and why I appreciate them, and also to check in on them and see how they're doing. So this is like such an important part of life, and we're reminded of it every time we go through something hard in life or lose someone or realize how fragile life is. We always start to feel the pressure of letting the people we love know that we love them and telling them why and checking in on them and just taking more time out to have those meaningful moments. And that's something that I want to be more aware of and more present of every day, not just when something hard happens or when something bad happens or when we lose someone. So I just want to make it a point to tell the people I love that I love them and tell them why I appreciate them, because they deserve to know that all the time, not just when something hard is going on. And I also want to make it a point to check in on those people, because if you really care about someone, I feel like that's a huge part of supporting that relationship, is just seeing how they're doing, because I don't think as a society we do that enough. So I'm gonna work on that. Number 16 is to travel to new places with fresh eyes and an open heart. So that's something that we've already been doing for a while, and I just want to continue to have that in my life. And I want to continue to experience new places, and I want to continue to be excited and eager and open-minded and open-hearted going to them. So that's something that I look forward to continuing doing in 2020. And number 17 is another personal one. So I want to continue to do things that scare me and intrigue me most. So I've always believed in the school of thought of doing what scares you and running towards the things that scare you and taking leaps of faith and things like that. In 2020, I want to just continue to push myself outside my boundaries and do things that are hard for me, do things that are scary to me, and do things that are super interesting to me because I want to know what they feel like, but I'm scared of how to get there, or I don't know how to get there. Like, those are all the type of things that I want to continue to push myself to do. So in 2020, I'm gonna keep pushing those boundaries. And number 18 is another personal one. So I want to forgive myself and others quickly and easily when things don't go as planned or when things go wrong. So that sort of falls under the same umbrella of being a perfectionist. And again, I want to be able to just let things go. Obviously, things go unaccording to plan all the time, and whether that's my fault or someone else's fault or circumstances that are under no one's control, I want to be able to forgive people, forgive myself, forgive circumstances quickly and easily so that I can move on and live a lighter, happier life. Number 19 is another personal one. So I want to show gratitude, faith, and light every day. So basically what that means for me is gratitude is pretty self-explanatory. So I want to be thankful every day and grateful for things in my life. There's so much to be thankful for every single day, and your perspective and your attitude is sort of telling of how grateful you are of things. So I am going to work super diligently to make it a point to focus on what I'm grateful for and appreciative of every single day. So little things like having a roof over your head, or making it 5 minutes faster than I thought I would somewhere, or waking up and it being a beautiful sunny day. I want to be grateful for things like that. I want to be grateful that I have my health, that I have my family, that I have a job I love. I want to be grateful for the community and the support that I have on social media. I mean, the list is literally endless of things to be grateful for. So I want to just focus on those things and allow them to expand and be what I see all the time in my life. And then having faith, it sort of falls under the umbrella of letting things go again. So I want to just be more easygoing and believe that everything's gonna work out and actually have faith in that. So I don't want to just say that or try to convince myself. I want to just truly believe it and be comfortable with it and accepting and allowing of everything that's happening, because I know in my heart that everything will be okay. So that's super important to me. I feel like it will improve my quality of life so greatly to just have faith every single day. And I'm not speaking about faith really in a religious way. That's just not like what works for me, but it's a similar concept, and obviously if that's what works for you, it's cool too. And then showing light every day is basically just positivity and kindness and happiness and joy. So I want to make sure no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what's going on in my day, that I have those factors somewhere in there too. And then the last one, number 20, is another personal type goal. So I want to be less shy with strangers, and the reason that I want to do that is so I can spread more kindness, because I'm pretty shy with strangers, and it definitely holds me back from sharing kindness and compassion sometimes. So I want to try to be more courageous in that sense, and I want to do more hellos. I want to wave more. I want to smile more. I want to give more compliments, more random acts of kindness, because I'm always thinking about doing those things when I see strangers, but for whatever reason I just get like nervous and shy with strangers, and I hold myself back from doing so many of those things when I'm sure it could make a difference in their day and maybe even in their life. So I don't want to continue to hold myself back just by being shy. So I'm gonna work really hard to just push myself a little bit further to do those small gestures and acts of kindness to spread more compassion and kindness and happiness and joy in the world. So that is pretty much it for my 20 goals for 2020, and I'm really happy with my goals this year. I think that they're all achievable and they're all really important to me, and I feel like the list is well-rounded in the sense that it covers a lot of personal things, some health things, some mental things, some business things. So I think focusing on all of those will be really good for me in 2020, and it will help me to be a better person in so many aspects. So I'm looking forward to it. I believe in myself and I believe that I can stick to them. And I would love to hear what you guys have planned for 2020. I love hearing other people's goals and aspirations and dreams and resolutions. It's so inspiring and also touching. So definitely comment them below if you feel like it. And other than that, I'm excited for this year, and thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and following along and being kind and loving and supportive. I am so grateful for you, and I wish you all a beautiful 2020.